Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent. Retro Static Radio proudly brings you Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant, assigned to the homicide detail. There's a killer on the loose in your city. Days ago, a woman was murdered in an empty lot with no motive and no suspect. Your job is to bring justice to the murder of Helen Corday.
It was Thursday, March 19th. It was foggy in the city. We were working the night watch out of the homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Ed Backstrand, chief of detective. My name's Friday. It was 9:14 p.m. when I got to the old central jail building, 3rd floor, the crime lab.
Oh, hi, Joe.
How you coming, Lee?
Just trying a spectrograph.
What'd you find?
Well, the paint flakes from the victim's head matches the paint on the hunk of pipe.
Any prints?
Nah, the pipe was clean. No latent prints.
That figures. Anything else?
Got those blood test reports. A couple of slides for you to look at under the comparison microscope.
Thanks, Lee.
Oh, hey, Joe. Didn't hear you come in.
What's it look like, Ben?
Well, here's the blood test reports. Here's the blood found on the pipe.
Type A.
And this one is the victim's blood.
Type A. They match.
Doesn't mean too much, though. Have you looked at these slides under the microscope?
No, not yet.
Well, this one's the clincher. Wait till I get the lights. Going dim, Lee. Okay, take a look.
I see.
Well, the slide on the right is a slice of hair from the victim's head. On the other side is a hair found on the steel pipe.
Yeah.
Well, she has wavy hair, of course, and both specimens are flat, but it's the same hair, Joe. Lee, got anything on that pipe?
Well, not really. Just ordinary steel pipe, 14 inches long.
What else you got?
The plaster impressions of those footprints we found by the body. Here they are.
It's a shoe, all right.
Tennis shoes, new ones, size 9. Good impression, the ground was soft. Man, probably about 150 pounds. Length of stride indicates he's about 5 foot 10 inches tall.
Yeah, new shoes, all right. You can even see the manufacturer's label.
That's right. Made by the Sport King Company.
That's something to follow up.
Yeah, sure. Start with the tennis courts. They're only about, 1,000 or so in the city. Maybe track down the brand? These tennis shoes are the biggest in the country. Well, where would you like to start? Alabama or Wyoming?
What about the glove?
Oh, that's a good one, too. Might easily find a missing glove.
Yeah?
They go well with the shoe. Probably more common than the shoes themselves. White cotton work gloves with a blue top. Here's the right glove. Go and find the left one.
Blood on the glove?
Yep. Type A.
That's good evidence, Lee. But where's the lead?
Look, fellas, I don't ask you to pay my parking tickets. Want to see the blow-ups?
Yeah, okay.
Right over here.
That's the vacant lot where they found the body.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's a close-up of her, showing the murder weapon, the glove, and the footprints in relation to the position of the body.
It looks as bad as yesterday. Sure worked her over, didn't he?
The rest of these are morgue shots. Interested?
No, I checked them over this morning. Once is enough, Lee.
That wins it, boys. You want to go over the stuff in her purse again?
You find anything more?
None you haven't seen already. The usual. Makeup, comb, barrettes, a hair clip, a few cheap stones in it, loose change, nickel and a few pennies, her ID card.
Yeah. Helen Corday, 33 Naomi Place, age 21. 21. That's not very old, is it, Lee?
Not to die, no.
Helen Corday. Who would kill her? Why?
Why do you say that, Mr. Myers?
People kill for money, they kill for love. Helen had none of this.
No boyfriend?
Not in here, no. She was a good worker. 5 different waitresses the union sends me in 1 month. 5!
Did the union send Helen to you?
Oh, sure.
All the girls come from the Union, but none like Helen. No, she was sweet, honest, and courteous.
Mr. Myers, did you know anything about her personal life?
No, all I know is that she was a good worker. Everything else she kept at home with her.
Did she ever mention any men to you? Or anyone at all?
No, not one.
How much money did she make here?
Why, I pay her $26.50 a week every Tuesday. Not much salary for so much work, but the tips are very good here. Nice customers we have. Nice customers.
Is this her home address? 33 Naomi Place?
33 Naomi? That's right.
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Myers.
I wonder what kind of person would do things like this. Who could kill sweet Helen? Everybody liked Helen.
Helen Corday? I never liked her. Come on into my office, boys, so we can talk. Never liked her 'cause I never knew her.
You the head of the union?
Just a steward of the union. But I knew most of the girls. This Corday girl, what does she look like?
Small, brunette, about 5'3".
Here's a picture. Oh, goody girl, wasn't she? Yeah. Sure. Placed her at the catching club owned by the nice little man Otto Meyer.
That's right. He seemed to think a lot of her.
Yeah, she was a fine worker, sure. Always right up on her dues and paid all the assessments right on time. I thought you said you didn't know her. Not right off, I didn't. But when you showed me that picture there, placed her right away.
Know anything about her personal life?
Now, just wait a minute. Why all these questions? Helen Corday was murdered last night. Oh, who did it?
What do you know about her personal life?
Well, you gotta see my position on this, Detective. 1,200 girls. Check 'em in, check 'em out. They're mostly just names to me until I see a face.
You wouldn't know if she had any friends or boyfriends here in the union, would you?
That I wouldn't know. Like I said, I didn't know Helen Corday.
Sure, I knew Helen Corday. Gus plays a nice piano, doesn't he, Sergeant?
Yeah, I guess he does.
I read about it in the paper this morning.
How long have you been selling pianos at this place?
About as long as I knew Helen. 3 years. How'd you find me?
Helen's landlady. We talked to her yesterday. She told us you worked here at this piano store.
It's funny.
What is?
See Gus over there? The fella demonstrating the piano? A few weeks ago, I made a deal with him to give Helen piano lessons. I figured it'd help her with her singing. She wanted to be a singer, you see.
Did Helen know that fella, Gus?
No, she never met him.
Well, who did give her singing lessons, Miss Olson?
She took from Ostrander, Paul Ostrander, out on Melrose. A lot of movie people used to take from him.
Uh-huh, and what do you know about her personal life?
How do you mean?
Boyfriends? Girlfriends?
Well, yes.
You don't seem so sure, Miss Olson.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I never asked Helen. She did have a couple dates with Ostrander, but I don't think she was serious.
How about Ostrander?
Gee, I don't know, Sergeant. I don't want to involve anybody.
You want to help us find her killer, don't you?
Yes, but if you think Paul Ostrander did it, I'm sure he didn't kill her.
That's all for today, Victoria. You may go. No, officers, I did not kill Helen Corday. Bit presumptive of you.
You did give her singing lessons, Mr. Ostrander. You knew her pretty well?
Yes, I did give her some voice coaching. Helen showed a bit of promise, but not a great voice. Bad vibrato, you see.
But you did know her pretty well.
Why do you say that? Mr. Ostrander, didn't you used to take her out once in a while? What? No. I didn't know Helen socially at all.
We know you had dates with her.
Well, that's not true. The only times I saw her was when she came here to the studio for lessons. Now, you better tell us the truth, Mr. Ostrander. We can prove you've been out with her. But, well, I can't...
Afraid of the publicity, is that it?
Well, certainly.
I have a successful business here. I've spent years building it. Anything like this could ruin me.
Then you have gone out with her.
Yes, only a few times, nothing serious. I had nothing to do with her murder, that's the truth. Don't you know withholding information about a thing like this could go hard for you and your business? Yes, I know that. But what else can I do?
Mr. Ostrander, right now, somewhere in this city, there's a guy who beat a young girl to death. He crushed her skull in with a steel pipe. We need every bit of information we can get to track him down.
I know that, Sergeant.
You could have come to us. We wouldn't run to the newspaper with it. If the information is confidential, that's how we treat it. Most of the time, it's the people who run to the press first, then they come to us. That's right. People are their own press agents.
Detective! I want to know what right you have invading my privacy, and then lecture me on my civic duty.
All right, I'll tell you what's right, Ostrander. We want the man who murdered Helen Corday. I got as much right as he did at 12:14 this morning.
Joe. Hey, come on, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ostrander. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy.
No, you got the wrong extension. Try 2511. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, Joe, Ben, Chief's looking for you.
Thanks, Mike.
Romero, Friday, please sit down. What'd you get?
A notebook full of notes. A crime lab full of evidence. Nothing tying anything together.
Are these the people you've interviewed?
Yeah. There's a dozen more that we talked to but didn't take notes on.
It's hard to figure, Skipper. Everybody seems to like this girl. Helen Corday. No known relatives. Single, unattached girl living alone in the big city.
Few friends and no enemies. None we can find anyways.
And you're satisfied that all the people you interviewed are in the clear?
If we stick to the simple robbery motive, we are.
The kind of money that Miss Corday made wouldn't interest most people. And how are you doing on outside leads? Nada.
If we can just find one hole, someplace, anything.
All right, now look. You've got a lab full of evidence across the street. You have a book full of names here. You've got the pieces. Just fit them together. They just don't add up, Skipper. Well, go over them, and keep going over them until they do add. Anything from the informants?
No, nothing so far. No tips who've been dough heavy lately and no one shooting off their mouth.
The guy we want won't advertise. Figures himself a pretty smooth operator. But he's made a mistake somewhere along the line, and we'll find it.
Excuse me, guys. We got a hotshot, Ed.
Yeah?
3220 Casino. Woman. Probably attacked.
All right. Friday, you and Ben run it down.
We ran down the hotshot call for 3220 Casino. Turned out to be a typical dead-end lead. Her name was Mrs. Lillian Horn. For the past 5 years, Mr. Horn had been paid regularly on Wednesdays. He'd spend all day Thursday drinking up his paycheck and beating his wife. The call had no connection to the Corday murder. We made the usual call into communications. Unit 80K to Control 1. 80K to Control 1.
Control 1 to 80K, go ahead.
On that probably attack, 3220 Casino, Code 4.
80K, roger. Sending patrolmen and a car.
80K to Control 1, TMA 367, over and out. That was the beginning. For the next 3 days, we followed up every lead and every call, but they were all blind. All units were alerted, and they had as much information on the killer of Helen Corday as we did. Ben and I cruised throughout the entire Central Division, answering any call that could have even some small connection to the murder.
Attention, Unit 41R. 1654 Swanson Terrace, a woman, victim of probably attack. Code 3. Unit 41R.
It didn't make any difference what the call was. If there was a possibility that it tied in with the Corday murder, we ran it down. We made it a 24-hour job. So far, if the killer had made a mistake, we couldn't find it. The Corday funeral was on Monday. Everyone in my book was there. The girl's landlady, voice teacher Ostrander, the girlfriend Marie Olson, the man from the union, and her boss, Otto Myers. Nobody we hadn't checked. Monday night, we went back to the old routine of tracking calls in the squad car, plucking at small threads that led to nowhere. 3 more days of the same thing. Thursday morning, 1 week after we found Helen Corday's body, we got an anonymous phone tip.
Yeah, I know who killed Helen Corday. His name's George Barlow. He lives at 418 White Oak Avenue. He used to date her up all the time. Get him and you got your murderer.
We checked George Barlow and 10 men just like him. None of them knew Helen Corday. Saturday night, we were back in the squad car cruising the Central Division. Saturday night's a good night for robberies. By 10 p.m., we'd run down 4 various calls.
123, code 1, 123, roger. 12G, call your station. Unit 13R, 1254 Tower Road, woman screaming, investigate for trouble.
Let's handle that one, Ben.
Sure thing, Joe. I'll notify control. It should be right here. There it is, 1254.
Help! He tried to kill me. That man driving down the street.
Come on.
Turn right at the next corner. That's him up ahead. Turn on the siren.
Hey, he's got a good lead on us, Joe. We're on the floor now.
Be careful. Get alongside him. I'm going for his tires. That should slow him down. Pull up on him.
Yeah.
All right, you. Exit the vehicle and keep your hands up.
Cover me, Joe.
Right.
Hurry to the curb, mister.
Shake him down.
Hurry up to the curb, mister.
Cuff him.
Jeez, you boys work fast. What am I do at the gas chamber?
Save it, mister.
Pretty rough treatment for speeding.
Get him back.
I have a right to know why you're taking me in. What's the charge? We'll let the girl tell you. What girl? Oh, I know where we're going. That place back on Tower Road. Look, all I did was ask to use the phone and the girl slammed the door in my face. I don't know what you cops are trying to prove. I just wanted to use the phone is all Yes, I tried to scare her a little. Told her I would hit her over the head if she didn't let me use it.
Romero, get him out.
I got nothing to hide. You know that girl's gonna lie, right?
Who's there? Police officers. Oh, that's him. He tried to kill me. His full name is Frank Philip Larson, Ed. No previous record.
So this is the girl's report? Yeah, that's it, Skipper. Judy Scott. How old is she? She's 18. She's a babysitter. Real tough boy, isn't he? Forced his way into the house. Beat her about the neck and arms with a tire iron.
We found it on a search of his car after it got to the impound. Lee is running it through the crime lab.
Asked her if she had any money. She answered no. He struck her again. Where does this Larson live? Hotel out near Santa Monica?
Clothing salesman. Works for a big men's store, Burns and Company. According to house sales record, he bought a pair of tennis shoes 2 weeks ago.
Weighs 158 pounds. 5 foot 11 inches. Tennis shoes are missing. Ain't in his hotel room and he's not wearing them. What else did you find? A rhinestone. You mean like a pin?
No. A small loose stone we recovered from the carpet in his hotel room. Crime lab is working on it now. Ed, I think we got the man who killed Helen Corday. A few scraps of circumstantial evidence and a hunch. That's not much to go on. Larson had gone after the little Scott girl, sure, but wasn't much of a tie-in. We had to be sure. All that day, we checked Larson's alibi for the night of Helen Corday's murder. We interviewed the personnel manager at Burns and Company where he worked. We talked to all the clerks who knew him, the manager of the hotel where he lived. We found out everything we could about Frank Larson. And that night, at 10 o'clock, We had the prisoner brought to the interrogation room.
So how are you, Larson? Oh, I'm fine, just fine. I actually like jail. Hey, sit down, Larson. Lousy weather today. Been foggy all day. Well, I wouldn't know that. I was inside all day.
How old are you, Larson?
31, same as the last time you asked me.
Where did you go to school?
I didn't. I was born smart. You sell clothes, don't you?
You work for Burns and Company, remember? You told us.
So what is all this? What are you trying to build? Just want to know if you like selling clothes, that's all. Oh, what do you coppers know about clothes? One blue shirt a year is your speed. You know a bit about clothes, though, don't you? Well, I should. I've been selling them for about 5 years. Can you tell me something I've been wondering about, though? What's that? Are your socks and ties really always supposed to match? That's what the style book says.
Bet you know all the right things to wear, don't you? You wouldn't wear black shoes with a brown suit, would you?
Is that really what you're keeping me in here for? Stylism? Oh, would you? Would you wear black shoes with a brown shirt? No, most people wouldn't. Wouldn't wear brown shoes with a tuxedo either, right? Been smoking too much. Can I have a glass of water? Oh, of course. Oh, that's nice. Good and cold. So how about it? Would you wear brown shoes with a tux? No, and no one would. That's a navy blue flannel you got on, right? Yeah. It's a good-looking suit. Stop by the store sometime. I can get you a good deal.
Suit like that, you probably wouldn't wear tennis shoes with it.
What do you think?
I do. I think you were wearing them the night you killed Helen Corday.
Who?
Maybe you didn't have the blue suit on, but you were wearing the tennis shoes. Sport King, size 9. Sell for $5.95. You got the discount, though. Only cost you $3.25.
Where'd you get that?
Out of the house book from Burns and Company. You wouldn't happen to have those shoes around now, would you? We couldn't find them in your hotel room.
Your boss, Mr. Craig, used to think a lot of you, Larson, before you started drinking on the job. Your commissions used to run pretty high until a couple months ago. What happened? That cheap ride get to you? Wow, you two really nosed around. So when are you going to get to telling me what I had for breakfast?
Cornflakes, coffee, donut. Sometimes two if you're hungry. Elsie waits on you at the Royal Cafe. She gets a dime tip.
May I have some more water? Oh, help yourself. Cooler's right over there.
So how about it, Larson? Where's the tennis shoes?
They wore out. In 3 weeks? Couldn't be very good quality. Should we ask your boss about that?
They didn't wear out. What'd you do with them?
Well, you know all the answers. You figure it out. Well, we know you bought the tennis shoes. We don't know where they are right now, but we knew where they were.
3 feet from the body of Helen Corday, we found a pair of footprints. Size 9 Sport King tennis shoes.
Figured the man weighed about 150 pounds.
You're 158.
Straight of the impressions that the man was about 5'10".
You're 5'11".
You fit that profile pretty squarely, don't you think, Lawson?
Same build, and you wear the same shoes, same brand name?
Well, a lot of people wear 9s. It's the average shoe size. We sell a lot of Sports King, too. Everybody wears them. If we can find your pair, it might make a difference. Could prove that they weren't the ones at the murder scene.
What'd you do with them, Larson?
I threw them away.
That's too bad. Might have made a difference.
What difference could they make? I threw them away. How about the mate to this glove? Never saw that before. Found this right-hand glove by the body of Helen Corday. Just an ordinary work glove. Everybody wears those. If we could find the missing left glove, that'd be mighty helpful too.
Size medium. That's average too, isn't it, Larson?
I never sold work gloves, so I wouldn't know.
No, but you bought work gloves, didn't you?
Not a pair like those. You mean like this? We only got the one.
What kind of work gloves did you buy?
I didn't buy any work gloves, but you just said you did. I never said I bought any work gloves.
But you did buy tennis shoes.
I told you I bought tennis shoes. Didn't I tell you I bought them?
No, you didn't tell us. We told you. Found out from Burns and Company where you work.
All right, yes, you told me, but I bought them, you know that. The same kind that made footprints right next to Helen Corday's body. It wasn't me.
Then why won't you tell them what you did with them?
I told you I threw them out.
Why'd you throw them out? They were only a couple of weeks old.
I told you already. They were too dirty, so I tossed them.
No, You told us they wore out. Don't you remember, Larson?
No, I don't remember what I told you, but I don't have them now. Well, we know you don't have them now. Where are they?
He told us. They got too dirty, so he chucked them. Isn't that right, Larson?
Yes. That's what I said. Anyhow, you haven't got them now? That's right.
All right, now then. Just for the record, which was it? Did they get too dirty, or did they wear out?
Whatever I said before. You said both of them before. All right, so I said both. You ain't got nothing on me.
We got that girl, Scott. Statement from last night. She says you tried to kill her.
She's lying. I told you she'd lied, didn't I?
She said you hit her with a tire iron. Did you hit her with that iron?
No, I only tried to scare her. I didn't hit her with anything. Then, how'd she get those marks on her neck and arm?
Police doctor said they were made with the tire iron in your car.
I don't care what your doctors say. I didn't hurt her.
Now which do you mean? You didn't hurt her, or you didn't hit her?
Neither one. I just wanted to use her phone.
How'd you know she had a phone?
I didn't. I just went up there to find out.
Find out what?
To find out if I can use her phone.
Thought you said you didn't know that she had a phone.
I don't know anything the way you twist everything around.
Sorry, Larson. We just want the truth. How about a cigarette?
Yeah. I could use one. Well, here's the light.
Larson, where were you Wednesday night, March 18th?
How many times are you going to ask me that?
Just want to make sure we got it on record the right way.
I told you this morning. I went out to a show, got out at 11, had a beer, went home. And what time did you get home? About 11:30.
Did you stay home?
I went to bed.
What'd you see at this show?
I never remember the names. You best. It's pretty important. I was at the Lux Theater. It was Spencer Tracy and somebody.
What was on when you walked in?
The news was on. I never go in the middle of a picture. Oh, neither do I. Spoils them for me. Yeah, that's right.
The girl in the box office doesn't remember seeing you go in.
How would she know? It was Keno night. There was a big crowd. You win anything? I never do. Did anybody hit the jackpot? I don't remember. They give a lot of money out of those neighborhood theaters. I usually remember who wins. Well, that's good for you and why you're a cop. I don't remember who won.
But do you remember if anyone won?
I told you no.
Do they even have a jackpot at the theater?
I guess they do. I don't know. You knew it was Keno night. So why wouldn't you know if they even had a jackpot? Maybe they had a jackpot. I don't know. I went out for a smoke.
You said the cartoon was on when you walked in.
Why do you always try to twist what I said? I said the news was on when I got there. Remember anything about the newsreel? It was 10 days ago. How do I know what was in it? It was a newsreel.
You're lying, Larson. We checked that alibi already. The manager had to cut the newsreel for the theater because the show was running along with Keno night.
You didn't go to the show Wednesday night, did you? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. What's the difference?
The difference is that you could have been in that vacant lot the same night, the night that Helen Corday was murdered.
I didn't kill her. You can't prove that I did.
Interrogation room, Friday. Hi, Jones. It did, huh? You're positive? Uh-huh. Yeah. Thanks, Lee.
Are you sure you don't want to tell us what you did with those tennis shoes? I'm not going to go back to all that. I've told you everything I'm going to tell you.
Do you know how the Corday girl was murdered? She was on her way home from work, as usual, about midnight. Of course, you were at home asleep at that time, right?
Of course, you didn't go to the show that night, Larson.
On her way home, she always took a shortcut through a vacant lot. She was about halfway through the lot when the murderer grabbed for her purse. She screamed, so he struck her. Hit her several times with a steel pipe 14 inches long. He beat her to death with that pipe.
Then he dropped the pipe and one of his work gloves. He left a couple footprints, size 9 Sport King tennis shoes. Yes, I know all that.
Here's something you don't know. When the killer scooped the paper money out of that girl's purse, he accidentally took along a loose rhinestone, a stone that fell out of a cheap barrette in the bottom of her bag. He carried that stone home with him. When he reached into his pocket to pull out the money he stole from the woman he killed, that rhinestone fell on the floor.
So?
We found that rhinestone on the rug in your room.
Look, I haven't lived in that room my whole life. Maybe the tenant before me was...
No, not this one. We checked the cement that held it in that barrette. It matches the glue on the stone. No, Larson. That rhinestone came from the hair clip Helen Corday wore before she was murdered.
That's plenty to take you to the district attorney with. What am I supposed to say?
We want you to tell us the truth. Why did you kill Helen Corday? Yeah?
Want the sandwiches and coffee now, sergeants? Yeah, I think we're gonna be here a while. Brought you ham, cheese, or liverwurst. Some fruit on the side. Coffee's black. Oh, that looks good. So, Larson, which one do you want? Ham, cheese, or liverwurst? Oh, not hungry? How about you, Joe?
No thanks. I'll have an apple, though. Looks good. Ooh, that's a good apple. Nice and fresh. This a Washington apple?
No clue.
Where'd Mike pick these up?
Probably across the street over at Eddie's food cart. Think the coffee's too hot?
Nah, just right. Larson, you may not be hungry, but it's rude to not at least drink your coffee.
All right. I didn't want to kill her. I just wanted her purse. But she just didn't give it up. She just had to give me that purse. I needed a drink. I just needed a drink. I didn't want to kill her.
Hey, Mike, we'll call the stenographer.
Get
Get someone to bring this guy down back to the cell.
I didn't want to. I needed a drink. The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent. That was Dragnet, the Helen Corday murder. While Dragnet is a dramatization of actual events, if you enjoy first and second-hand scary stories, check out the 3 a.m. podcast. If you enjoy being in the woods with your best friends, the campfire roaring, telling scary stories, then that podcast is for you. Link to their website is in the description, or go to the 3ampodcast.com. You won't be sorry. Next week, Retrostatic Radio returns with the sci-fi staple X-1, with a Ray Bradbury penned story, Marionettes Incorporated. Retrostatic Radio is made possible from the generous donations of listeners like you. So please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com, where there is currently a contest being held for any tier to be able to win our upcoming first round of merchandise, beginning with brand new posters. However, if you'd like to make a one-time donation, then please go to the Retrostatic Radio page on Ko-fi.com. And if you're a small business, podcast, or just otherwise want your brand on episodes of Retrostatic Radio, please email us at retrostaticradio@gmail.com to discuss our sponsorship opportunities. Sharing is caring, so please, if you enjoyed this or any of our other broadcasts, sharing is caring, so please, if you enjoyed this or any other of our broadcasts, subscribe where possible, share wherever you can, and please follow our social media pages on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest fun from our social media team, Dawn the Squishy Fawn and Priscilla the Yarn Dragon. This concludes our broadcast day. Good night, and God bless.